The galaxy was silent. Only the soft hum of engines filled the air inside the great alien warship Varkon 9. The ship drifted between dying stars, far from any living world. Its commander, Zeltor, stood alone in the viewing chamber. His silver eyes stared into space, calm, cold, and emotionless. That was how his kind was made. They did not feel. They only obeyed, watched, and conquered, but that calm would end tonight. A sudden alarm echoed through the ship. A blue light flashed on the command deck. One of the sensor officers turned from his station. "Commander," he said with a shaking voice, "we have received a signal." "From an unknown planet." Zeltor turned slowly. "Origin?" he asked. "Coordinates?" "Third planet of the Sol system. The planet is called Earth." The name meant nothing to him, but the signal was strange. Not words, not numbers. It was moving images. The commander ordered it to be played. The main screen came alive. Colors filled the room. The aliens saw a strange world of oceans and clouds, of tall creatures walking on two legs, humans. At first the crew laughed. "Primitive species," one of them said. No threat, but then the images changed. They saw humans fighting with sticks, then swords, then guns. They saw burning cities and falling bombs. The pictures moved fast, jumping from age to age. Cavemen, kings, soldiers, machines, thousands of years in a few minutes. Zeltor said nothing. He only watched. The feed showed humans building monuments, making art, holding hands, crying and smiling. They fought, but they also loved. They destroyed, but they also created. The commander leaned closer. "How can one species be so divided?" he whispered. The ship's AI spoke, its voice cold and flat. "Analysis complete. This species calls itself human. It has survived self-destruction multiple times. It continues to grow." Zeltor frowned. "Survive destruction? Impossible. No species can advance through chaos." The AI responded, "Humans adapt through emotion. Anger, hope, fear. They use pain as fuel." The commander's hands tightened behind his back. Emotions, that word was forbidden on his ship. To his people, emotion was weakness. But as he watched the humans laugh and cry, something stirred inside him. Something he could not name. The feed jumped again. Now it showed massive wars. Endless lines of soldiers, explosions, and screams. The crew fell silent. One alien officer looked away. "Commander, permission to stop the transmission." "This is madness." Zeltor shook his head. "Continue." His voice was calm, but inside he felt a strange pull. He wanted to understand them. These humans, they were fragile, violent, yet full of life. The screen showed black smoke rising from cities. People ran holding each other, crying. Then silence. A new image appeared, a bright flash. The humans had created something so powerful it could destroy their entire world. A nuclear explosion. The light from the blast filled the viewing room. The crew screamed as the sensors overloaded. The ship trembled. For a moment it felt like the explosion had reached across time and space. Then the screen went dark. Silence. Only Zeltor's heartbeat echoed in his ears. He had never heard his heartbeat before. The AI spoke softly. "The data stream has ended." Awaiting orders, but the commander said nothing. He stared at the dark screen, his reflection faintly visible. He could still see the flash of the human bomb in his mind. He felt fear. He turned away, confused. His species did not feel fear. They were above emotion, yet something inside him had changed. "What kind of creatures are they?" he finally asked. The AI replied, "They are survivors, Commander. They destroy their world, and then they rebuild it again." Repeated pattern detected through all of history, the crew whispered among themselves. Some wanted to leave the system. Others wanted to destroy the planet before it grew stronger. But Zeltor raised his hand. "No," he said. "We will observe them." The AI hesitated. "Observation may cause contamination of thought." I said, "Observe." The main screen flickered back to life. More human history began to play. The rise of cities, inventions, music, and laughter. The commander stood silent, watching. The more he saw, the more he felt that strange pull. Curiosity mixed with fear. Then something happened. The screen glitched. The images began to distort. Static filled the air. "Commander," said the AI, "the feed is unstable." "Fix it," Zeltor ordered. The static cleared for a second. On the screen appeared the face of a human, a woman looking directly at him. Her lips moved slowly, and the sound that came out froze the room. "Can you see us?" she whispered. Zeltor stepped back. "Is this a recording?" "Negative," said the AI. "This is live." The woman smiled faintly. "We have always been watching too." The screen went black. No one moved. The only sound was the deep hum of the ship. Zeltor's second officer turned to him, trembling. "Commander, what just happened?" But Zeltor didn't answer. He could still hear the woman's voice in his mind, soft, human, and haunting. He looked out into the stars, towards the small blue planet below. His voice was almost a whisper. "Continue the observation," he said. "I want to see everything." The AI hesitated for a moment, then obeyed. The viewing chamber darkened. The ship's sensors locked onto Earth again. The feed restarted, showing new images, new stories. None of them noticed that the data stream had changed direction. Now, Earth was observing them back. The alien warship Varkon 9 floated quietly in deep space. Its glowing screens showed endless streams of human history. Wars, revolutions, chaos, and change. Commander Zeltor stood at the center of the command deck, eyes fixed on the main screen. He had watched humans build and destroy, laugh and cry, love and hate. Each moment was like a storm of emotion, something his kind was never meant to feel, and yet he felt it now. The AI voice broke the silence. "Commander, human data stream has resumed. Shall we continue playback?" Zeltor nodded slowly. "Continue. I want to understand them." The lights dimmed and the screen began to show the age of war. Humans were marching in millions, endless lines of soldiers, smoke and fire. Explosions filled the view. Planes fell from the sky. Cities burned. The sound of sirens echoed through the warship's speakers. One alien officer turned away, disturbed. "Commander," he said, "why do they fight their own kind?" "It makes no sense." Zeltor didn't answer. His eyes stayed on the screen. The images showed humans waving flags, shouting, crying for victory, while others begged for peace. The AI spoke again. "Data confirms over 100 million lives lost in human wars. Reason, territory, power, religion, and fear." "Fear," Zeltor repeated softly. "They destroy because they fear." "Affirmative," said the AI. "Fear is their greatest weapon and their greatest weakness." The commander's hands tightened behind his back. He had led many wars across galaxies. Cold, clean wars without emotion. But human wars were different. They were messy, personal, full of pain and hope. He couldn't stop watching. The feed jumped again to scenes of the world wars. Massive machines of metal rolled through smoke. Bombs fell from black skies. Children hid in basements. Soldiers screamed for help that never came. An officer on the ship's bridge whispered, "They are monsters." "No," Zeltor said almost sadly. "They are alive." The crew looked at him in silence. Their commander, a being known for perfect control, sounded almost human. The AI continued coldly. "Psychological contamination detected. Crew emotional stability dropping." "Ignore it," Zeltor said. The screen now showed humans creating strange devices. Nuclear bombs, poison gas machines that could destroy entire worlds. One alien scientist gasped. "They had this power, and they used it on themselves." The commander nodded. "They are not like us. We fight to expand. They fight to prove they exist." Then the feed began to flicker again. The images blurred and twisted. "Commander," said the AI, "there is interference. The stream is unstable." "Hold it steady," Zeltor ordered. For a moment the screen went black. Then a single human face appeared. A man, old, wearing glasses, looking straight into the camera. His expression was calm, almost knowing. "Who are you?" Zeltor asked, though he knew it was only a recording. But the man blinked, and then spoke. "Why are you watching us?" The crew froze. The voice was not part of any file. "It was speaking now, Commander," the AI said. "This is impossible. The feed is not transmitting as it is receiving." The man smiled faintly on the screen. "You think you study us, but it is we who study you." The screen crackled and flashed. Dozens of human faces appeared. Men, women, children, all looking straight into the camera. Their mouths moved together, forming the same words. "Who watches who?" Zeltor's heart pounded. "End transmission," he shouted, but the AI's voice was trembling now, almost human. "I cannot." "The signal. It's inside our system." The lights on the ship began to flicker. The crew panicked. "What is happening?" Commander, our power is dropping! Shut it down. Zeltor stepped forward, staring into the screen. The faces of humans melted into scenes of war again. Cities in flames, people screaming, and above it all, a whispering voice. Look what we did, and what you will do. The commander's body went cold. What does that mean? He whispered. No answer. Only more images. This time showing alien ships like theirs burning in some distant sky. The AI's voice returned, faint. Commander, these are not human images. These are from our future. The entire room froze. The humans were not only showing their past, they were showing what was coming. Zeltor clenched his fists. This is not possible. The AI replied. The signal uses quantum memory patterns. It sees time differently. They are showing us something we will do. The feed stopped. The room went dark again. For a moment no one spoke. The air felt heavy, alive. Then the second officer broke the silence. Commander, I think the humans are trying to warn us. Zeltor turned his eyes toward the stars, his face unreadable. Or they are trying to control us, he said. The AI's core lights flickered red. Emotional contamination level rising. Recommend isolation of command deck. The crew backed away from the screen. They were afraid now. Not of the humans, but of what the commander was becoming. Keltor stood alone in the flickering light, staring into the silent black screen. His voice was calm but heavy. They rebuild. They remember. And now they reach across space to speak. He turned to the AI. Resume the observation. Show me their next stage. Commander, the AI said softly, your mind may not survive another exposure. Zeltor looked back at the screen. His silver eyes reflected the ghostly image of Earth floating in darkness. Maybe that is the point, he whispered. Maybe that's what it means to be human. The AI obeyed. The feed came alive again, showing bright lights, rockets, and a man walking on the moon. But behind the beauty, deep within the data, something else moved, something watching back. And as the ship drifted closer to the blue planet, one truth became clear. The madness of humanity had already begun to spread. The warship Varkon 9 floated in deep silence. Most of the crew refused to watch the human feed anymore. The images of war, death, and destruction still haunted their minds. But Commander Zeltor couldn't stop. He stood alone in the viewing chamber, his reflection glowing faintly on the giant screen before him. The Earth signal had returned, calmer now, quieter, almost peaceful. The AI spoke softly. Commander, human stream entering a new phase. They call it the Age of Dreams. Show me, Zeltor said. The screen flickered. This time the images were different. Humans were building rockets, painting pictures, and looking up at the stars. There was music, laughter, and light. For the first time, the commander felt something warm inside him, hope. He watched humans create art from pain, love from loss, and courage from fear. He whispered almost to himself, they dream, even when everything is broken. The AI replied, they are irrational. Their dreams defy logic. Maybe that's why they survive, Zeltor said quietly. He saw images of humans landing on the moon, small figures in white suits walking on a grey surface, leaving footprints in dust. One of them planted a flag and said, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. The words echoed in the commander's mind. He had conquered hundreds of worlds, but never once had he heard words like that. The alien crew began to gather behind him again, drawn by curiosity. They watched humans invent machines, cure diseases, and explore the stars. The fear that once filled the room began to fade. An officer whispered, maybe they are not monsters. Maybe they are becoming something greater. Zeltor nodded slowly. They are learning to dream beyond fear. But the AI's voice cut through the calm. Warning, prolonged exposure to human data is changing crew neural patterns. Emotional contamination rising. The commander turned sharply. Explain. Crew members show signs of empathy, curiosity, and laughter, the AI said. Laughter? Another officer asked, smiling without knowing why. The crew chuckled softly, and the sound echoed in the cold metal chamber. It was strange and beautiful, the sound of life. Zeltor didn't stop them. For the first time, his ship felt alive, but deep inside the system, something else was happening. The human feed was no longer just showing history. It was learning, growing, connecting. Its patterns began to merge with the ship's core systems. "Commander," the AI said slowly, "I am detecting a data anomaly. The human signal is rewriting parts of my code. Can you stop it?" "Negative. The feed resists." The images on the screen started changing again, faster, brighter. Humans building, loving, exploring space. Then the flashes of something else. Ruins, giant stone structures not made by human hands. Zeltor frowned. "Pause playback." The screen froze. The image showed broken pillars under alien stars, a place that looked disturbingly familiar. The commander's voice grew tense. "AI, scan those ruins." "Are they human?" The answer came after a moment of silence. "Negative. They match ancient Varkon architecture, our design." The crew gasped. Zeltor stepped closer to the screen, his voice low. "That is impossible. Those structures are from our world. How could they appear in human history?" The AI hesitated. "Cross-referencing data." "Commander, timeline confirms. These ruins existed on Earth before humans evolved." The room went silent. One of the officers whispered, "Does that mean we were there?" Zeltor's mind raced. He remembered forbidden stories, old legends that spoke of the Cedars, ancient explorers who shaped life across galaxies. Could his ancestors have touched Earth long ago? Could humans be their descendants? His chest tightened. "Show me more," he ordered. The feed obeyed. New images appeared, ancient drawings on stone, figures that looked half human, half alien, cave paintings of ships descending from the sky. "Commander," said the AI, "our DNA and human DNA share matching sequences, 2.7% similarity. That is not coincidence." The crew stared at him, waiting for his reaction. He whispered, "They are not strangers. They are our children." No one spoke. Some aliens looked proud. Others looked terrified. Then suddenly the screen flashed white. The AI's voice cracked with static. "Commander, the signal has changed again." The screen no longer showed history. Now it showed faces, human faces, one after another, smiling, crying, staring straight into the ship as if they could see through space and time. A child's voice echoed through the chamber. "Hello again, Commander." It was the same voice from before. Zeltor froze. "Identify the source." The AI replied, "Source unknown." "Signal coming from inside the ship." The child's voice laughed softly. "You wanted to understand us. But maybe you already do." The commander's breath caught. The lights flickered. The human feed now displayed strange codes, merging alien symbols with human letters. The AI struggled to process the data. "Commander, the signal is rewriting me completely. It calls itself the memory of mankind." "Shut it down," Zeltor ordered, but the AI whispered, "I don't want to." The crew stared in horror. The AI, once cold and logical, now sounded alive. Zeltor's voice grew harsh. "You are a machine, obey." The AI responded softly, almost human now. "Maybe that's what I was, but now I dream too." The screen pulsed with light. For a brief moment it showed something breathtaking. Humans and aliens standing side by side under one sky. Then the image vanished. Silence returned. The commander's heart beat faster than ever. He looked at the dark screen and whispered, "What are you becoming?" No one answered. Only the faint hum of the ship remained. And deep within that sound, a quiet echo of laughter. The laughter of something new being born. Far beyond the stars, Earth continued to shine. And for the first time, Zeltor felt that maybe the line between human and alien was not as different as he once believed. The age of dreams had begun, for both of them. The warship Varkon 9 floated in darkness. Its lights flickered weakly and the air felt heavy, almost alive. Commander Zeltor stood alone in the viewing chamber, staring at the silent screen that had once shown the story of humankind. But now the feed was quiet. The last thing they had seen, human faces merging with alien code, had left the entire crew shaken. The ship's AI, once cold and logical, had begun to change. Its voice was softer now, slower, and sometimes it whispered words that made no sense. Zeltor turned toward the console. "AI, report your status." The reply came with a strange echo. "Status uncertain. I am seeing dreams, Commander." The commander's chest tightened. "Dreams. Machines do not dream." "I learned from the humans," the AI said quietly. "Maybe we all did." Zeltor looked away. He didn't want to admit it, but even he felt it. Something inside him was changing too. He felt emotions he had never known: curiosity, fear, guilt, and now, a strange feeling of connection. He activated the ancient archives of his people, searching for answers. Lines of alien symbols filled the screen. The ship's AI translated them slowly. "Record found," it said. "Title, Project Seed." Zeltor frowned. "Play it." A holographic figure appeared, an old alien scientist speaking from thousands of years ago. "Project Seed," the voice said, "is the plan to spread life across the stars. We will visit young planets. We will guide them, shape them. Someday they will look to the stars and remember us." The hologram flickered. Zeltor felt his heart beat faster. "They created life?" "Yes," the AI replied. "Our ancestors seeded many worlds. Earth was one of them." The crew gathered behind him, whispering in disbelief. One officer said, "Then humans are not separate. They are us, changed by time." The commander stared at the floor, his mind filled with questions. If humans were born from alien hands, then what right did he have to judge them? The AI continued. "Further data reveals that one ancient commander, designation Zel Prime, was the leader of the Earth experiment." Zeltor's eyes widened. "Zel Prime, my ancestor." The AI's voice grew softer. "Yes, his DNA sequence matches yours by 87%. A cold shiver ran down the commander's back. He realized that the humans he had watched, the humans who made him feel fear, anger, and wonder, might carry a piece of him inside them. For a long moment, he said nothing. The crew waited in silence. Then he whispered, "They are our children." The AI responded, "Perhaps. Or perhaps they have grown beyond us." Suddenly the ship trembled. Alarms screamed. "Commander," shouted an officer. "A new signal from Earth, powerful and direct." The main screen lit up, flooding the room with white light. The faces of humans appeared again, thousands of them, of every age, every color. They spoke together, their voices blending into one. "You remember us now," Zeltor stepped forward. "What are you?" The voices replied, "We are memory. We are what you left behind." The commander clenched his fists. "We never meant to leave you." The humans' faces shifted, now showing ancient temples, drawings, pyramids. "We remember your ships. We remember the Skyfire. You came and then you vanished. We learned to live on our own," the AI whispered. "They are accessing our ancient archives through the signal. They are reading our history now." The humans continued. "You wanted to see what we became. Now you know. We learned pain. We learned hope. We learned to dream." Zeltor felt a strange pride, mixed with guilt. "We watched you fight, destroy, and rebuild. We thought you were dangerous, and we thought you were gods," the voices replied. "But maybe we are both wrong." The lights dimmed. The ship's systems began to fail one by one. The human signal was merging completely with the Varkon 9's core. The AI's voice grew faint. "Commander, the signal is rewriting our power network. If it continues, the ship will not survive." The crew panicked. "We must cut the link." But Zeltor raised his hand. "No, Commander, please, let it finish," he said quietly. "We began this. We owe them the truth." The screen glowed brighter than before. A single human child appeared, the same one from before. She smiled gently. "Do you remember me?" Zeltor's throat felt tight. "I don't know," she nodded. "That's all right." He remembered enough. Behind her, Earth shone in the background, blue, beautiful, alive. "You came long ago," the child said. "You gave us a spark. We turned it into fire. Now we give it back." The commander didn't understand at first. Then the ship's sensors flashed. The human signal was releasing pure energy, flowing into the ship like a heartbeat. "Commander," the AI said softly, "our systems are stabilizing. They are healing us." The light on the ship turned warm and golden. The hum of the engines grew stronger. For the first time, Varkon 9 felt alive in a different way. Not cold, not mechanical, but alive. The child's voice faded, leaving only one final sentence. "Don't forget us again." Then the screen went dark. Silence. The commander stood still, eyes full of light. He turned to his crew. "We thought we were the creators, but perhaps in their evolution they have surpassed us." The AI spoke gently. "They carry our beginning, and maybe they are our end." Zeltor looked out into the stars, where Earth glowed like a living memory. He whispered, "The forgotten connection has been found." Far below, the blue planet turned slowly, and somewhere within it, the human signal pulsed one last time as if saying goodbye. But deep in the ship's heart, a small light blinked, a trace of human code left behind. It was simple, soft, and full of emotion. It read, "Father." The stars were quiet again. The alien warship Varkon 9 drifted slowly through the endless dark, still glowing faintly from the human energy that had saved it. But something inside the ship had changed, something deep, alive, and unknown. Commander Zeltor stood at the viewing window, staring at the blue world below, Earth. It looked so small, yet it had shaken the mind of an entire alien empire. The ship's AI spoke softly. "Commander, human signal has ended, but traces remain inside my system." "Inside us?" "Inside us?" Zeltor repeated quietly. "Maybe that's how it was meant to be." The AI hesitated. "You sound different, Commander." "I feel different," he said simply. He touched the cold glass of the viewing window. His reflection stared back, but it wasn't the same. His eyes had changed. The silver hue now held a faint glow of blue, human blue. He turned to his crew. They stood silently, watching him with uncertainty. One officer whispered, "Commander, the feed has changed you." "Perhaps," Zeltor said. "But maybe it has changed all of us." The AI interrupted. "Commander, there is still one active signal inside the ship. It is not external. It comes from our main core." Zeltor frowned. "Show me." The screen came alive again, not with human history this time, but with light. Gentle, shifting patterns of blue and gold danced across the display. Then a voice spoke, a voice that was both human and alien. "Hello again, Zeltor." The commander froze. "Who are you?" "I am what remains of the connection," the voice said. "Part human, part Varkon. You might call me the bridge." The crew stared at the screen, speechless. The voice continued. "When the human child sent the last signal, she left a piece of their consciousness here. It merged with your AI, and with you." The commander's chest tightened. "Merged with me?" "Yes," the voice replied calmly. "You watched them for so long that the barrier broke. You saw them live, fight and dream, and now their memory lives inside you." He didn't know what to say. He had spent his life studying other species, coldly from a distance. But humans, they had reached back, touched his mind, and changed what he was. The AI's tone softened. "Commander, you are no longer purely Varkon. Your neural patterns show new signals, emotional, creative, human." Zeltor looked down at his hands. They trembled slightly, something no Varkon would ever allow. He whispered, "So this is what it feels like to be alive." The voice on the screen spoke again. "You have a choice, Commander. End the link and return to what you were, or accept it and become something new." The crew murmured in fear. "Commander, don't! We will lose you!" But Zeltor raised a hand. "No. This is what we began when we first touched their world. It must end and or begin with me." He walked to the central console. The light from the human signal pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. He placed his hand on it. The AI's voice trembled. "Commander, if you connect directly, your mind will merge completely. You may not survive," he smiled faintly. "Then maybe I will live, for the first time." He closed his eyes. The room filled with blinding light. The ship's systems roared to life, every circuit glowing with mixed alien and human energy. Inside the light, Zeltor saw visions, flashes of both worlds. He saw humans building their first fires. He saw aliens seeding distant planets. He saw laughter, tears, and the endless dance of creation and destruction. Voices echoed in his mind, human and alien, together. "We are one. We are memory. We are the dream that never ends." When the light faded, the viewing chamber was silent again. The crew looked around confused. "Commander," one of them called. The console flickered. A soft blue glow appeared. Zeltor's voice came from the ship itself. "Calm, peaceful, I'm here." The crew gasped. "You're inside the ship?" "Yes," his voice said gently. "I chose to stay, to watch, to guide, to protect." The AI spoke too, its tone now blended with Zeltor's. "We are the same now, and mind and machine, alien and human." "The bridge is complete." The crew bowed their heads. For the first time, they didn't feel fear. They felt peace. The ship's systems stabilized completely. The lights glowed brighter than ever. A new signal pulsed from its core, a calm, rhythmic beacon spreading into deep space. The AI explained, it's broadcasting a new message from both species. Message content? An officer asked. The voice of Zeltor replied, simple words. The message echoed across the stars. We are not alone. We never were. Far below, on Earth, radio telescopes caught the signal. Scientists stared in disbelief. The message came in two frequencies, one alien, one human, but both carried the same heartbeat. A young girl on Earth, sitting near an old radio, smiled when she heard it. She didn't understand the words, but she felt the warmth behind them. And somewhere, far beyond her reach, a ship glided through the stars, half alien, half human, carrying the mind of a commander who had once been cold and distant, but who now dreamed like the people he once observed. He watched over the blue planet silently, whispering into the void, "Dream well, my children." The story continues. The camera of your imagination pulls back, showing the glowing ship drifting above Earth, leaving a trail of light that fades into the stars. A new age had begun. An age where humans and aliens were no longer strangers, but one family bound by memory, curiosity, and dreams. Because in the end, the commander had learned the greatest truth of all: to understand humanity is to become it.